This episode on Different Roots Radio, we are joined by Josh Ocock, founder of GrowthGurus, all the way in Malta. GrowthGurus is a digital marketing agency. They're actually quite good at it because they won Marketing Company of the Year and Best E-commerce website as well. And they've also been nominated for quite a few different awards. So thanks for joining us today, Josh. We'd love to have you, happy to have you here. I'd love to hear a bit more about really how you started GrowthGurus. I know you went to Manchester Business School just like we did. So, so we've got the Manchester Connect, but you're all the way out in Malta. So how did it get started and why are you in Malta and not in Manchester doing this?
I'll tell you what, Manchester was some of the best days of my life. And I think there's still many more to come, but I have a very special place for Manchester in my heart. I believe that's where I became a man, and it's definitely where I became an entrepreneur, which is a major part of what this topic is. By the way, guys, thank you so much for having me. It's great to be here with you both, Timilin and Dami. And it's an honor. So Manchester was where I went to university, like you guys. It's also where I did my first side hustle, which is like, basically that's when you become an entrepreneur. You should always start by doing something on the side of what you're doing. I mean, okay, you can go all in and just say, I'm going to do my own business from start, but it's always really good to build up experience, to learn from organizational corporate structures that have been running for many years. So I actually, when I finished university, I did my master's at the Manchester Business School. I actually worked for the university as well. So my first job was working for Manchester Business School. I then put together like a list of recommendations through my thesis that led me to a job interview, which was a really interesting start to my career. I then worked for the social media management for one of the initiatives out of the Manchester Business School. So I've been working in social media since pretty much before it was considered a thing. Now, 5 years down the line, GrowthGurus is my digital marketing agency, which Alex and I founded in 2015. Back then, we shared a single screen, a single desktop monitor, and a single desk, but we had 2 laptops. So it was quite amazing. We were obviously low on resources, but we used Google Docs to have a shared sort of screen whilst co-working on proposals from our individual laptops. So we've come a long way and never looked back, really. Obviously, there's highs and lows and there's a lot of obstacles along.
When you and Alex got together, like, how did that conversation go, saying, you know what, let's start a business together? What kind of led to that conversation, and how long of a process was that? Was it just over drinks, or is it over like a study or over a paper? What kind of gingered you guys to have that conversation?
I left Manchester because this is where it really begins. So I left Manchester to take up a job offer with an American company, which was publicly listed. However, they had offices in Malta, which is crazy. So an American business hired me from Manchester and offered to, they were sort of offered to relocate me to a sunny island. So I believe that life is full of moments where decisions are taken, and those decisions, we can only really calculate the impact of them down the line once you've seen where that leads you. So then I got this job, which it was a bit too big for my boots. The role was a bit too, let's just say I didn't have the experience levels at that time to fill the role. However, I took it anyway. It was offered to me. I went for it.
Nice.
That, long story short, the marketing was doing quite well in that business, which was developing mobile gaming applications. So I got asked by one of the sort of seniors in the company to roll out a marketing service for one of their other businesses, or a business of a friend of theirs. And then I nailed it. And then I did another one and we nailed it. So sooner than later, I was nailing it more on my side hustle than on my job, to a point where they were like, maybe we should consider rolling this out into its own business. So it took a while to make that happen. Let's say about 6 months. And I put out a job offer I use social media. Obviously, nowadays it's quite easy to find people and connect via social media channels, which I think is something we'll be talking about a bit more. Put out an offer saying I need help to manage these social businesses because I had more clients than I could deal with whilst doing a full-time job. So Alex came, and we were in a co-working space, and we did an interview. We hit it off straight away. So he joined me he was a bit mad to join me because I was a one-man band with a few clients. But at that point, we really connected and we hit it off. And then I believe that was at first he was supporting me whilst I was working another job. He was taking the extra work, and straight away we said we need to rebrand. At the time, GrowthGurus had a much longer name. It was called Internet Growth Advisors for approximately 2 months until Alex came in and said, yeah, my email address is too long for my business card. Let's do it. So we then started GrowthGurus, and over time he became my business partner, but very quickly became my business partner. There was only two of us plus another partner at the time. And then we kind of snowballed it. And when it clicks with your partner, they say the same about love, by the way. When it's right, you just know. I kind of get that vibe from you two, by the way.
Don't even start. I knew that was coming. Don't even start it. We have a love-hate relationship.
Well, if the case, I'm the husband.
There is no way. I'm taller, so I'm definitely the husband.
And now I've got pictures in my mind that
no one is. Can we just stop this now? No one is the husband.
All right, but I heard you.
Guys, you're getting me jealous. I'm hearing more talk all by myself. So basically, that was we connected by a series of decisions and a series of sort of unpredictable events that led to opportunities. And then once we started working together, we gelled. Oh, by the way, it's not always like love and roses.
Yes,
it's not all about rainbows and
marriage
sparkles.
has obstacles.
And we have now very clearly defined roles within our own business. Rather than tackling everything together, I've got my domain, he's got his domain. And once you really define what your roles are, you then have the freedom to really excel and to grow in that role. So we bit off a lot. We bit off a lot more than we could chew a few times. We grew from 4 employees to 15 employees in a matter of about 8 months. That was exciting to us because we wanted to have a big company, right? You then maybe realize when payroll comes, a couple of clients have dropped off or stalled payments, and then your outgoings are larger than your incomings several months in a row. You start thinking it's a bit less sexy to have more and more employees.
So is this one of your major obstacles that you said you face while starting up the company? So is there like 1 or 2 that really stick in your mind?
We had we were thrown in the deep end quite a few times. So at one point our bank account got shut down because there was some suspicious activity of many millions. Unfortunately, not in our corporate.
My apologies.
Unfortunately, it was not our account. It was someone. It was just being investigated, and the sort of authorities just shut down the account from one day to the next. Shut down the whole bank.
I take it back. It wasn't me.
No, they shut down the whole bank. So here we are running a business, money in, money out. That's basically one of the fundamentals of business is money in, money out.
Cash flow.
Cash flow. Next thing you know, your entire bank is shut. And these are things you don't anticipate. So we didn't have a backup bank account with money in it. We had one bank account. Now we do have actually 2 accounts just in case it happens again. But the process of opening a new bank account and then getting our funds out of the bank account took 2 years to get our money out. It took a few months to get a new bank account and then it took a few years to get our money back because they had to investigate everything.
In order to kind of combat that, do you guys have to go to any sort of financial advisor in order to handle the transition over from one bank account to another? Because I can see that being very complex, especially if you guys are, as you've said, you've won an award in e-commerce. So your finances have to be somewhat secure for you to be able to gain that kind of award.
We were provided with support, but I wish we had more, to be honest. What nobody teaches you is when the rug is ripped out from underneath you, how do you find your feet again? And luckily, I believe in angels that look after us, not in the form of angels like with halos and wings, not always at least, but we had one of our largest accounts due to pay our invoice, and they were always on time with an invoice, but they, for one reason or another, didn't make it to transfer the quarterly fee. So that was a little guardian angel that saved us, because she didn't transfer it on time, and she always did. When they shut the bank account, that money was not in the account yet. So that allowed us to make payroll for like a month. So what did we do? We used my personal account for all of our expenses and all of our bills, and Alex's for all the payroll. So we split in half like partners, you know. This just goes to show how important it is to have trust in your partner. A business partner, I think, is something I would advise from the bottom of my heart. It's great being an entrepreneur, but it can be a lonely road. It can be a lonely journey. So I would always advise, do it with a partner that you gel with and click with.
So I was just going to add to that. You said always go with a partner. It's so many entrepreneurs on our show have said that they wouldn't get where they were if they didn't have their partner, and they didn't know if they could have done it with them. So that is such a huge part. But something else you said, you mentioned that you have a life guru or a life coach. Normally you expect entrepreneurs to be kind of coaching other people, or you ask your friends for help, but you and your partner, you just work through it. And most entrepreneurs are, I did this all with my partner, it was really hard. But it's quite interesting and rare to hear that you still have a life coach and you're still developing. So how did you have a life coach, and how much is him or her,
good.
you see
Good.
impact on your life?
So I also wanted to say I did it all alone, you know, or we did it all alone, which is what we did for 4 years, 4 years. We had our team, but outside of the people working for Growth Gurus, we had no guidance. So then it was this year actually that I started working with a coach, a mentor, and it's an official mentor. That's an interesting point.
Yeah, how
because of course,
it's mentor. That's because a lot of people say they find themselves building their network, and the network allows them opportunities to introduce some new people, kind of thing. So this official mentor of yours, how did you come about that? And it was, you know, and if you can advise people what are good qualities to have in a mentor.
It's not something I'm very expert at, because it's something I've done recently, but I can explain how we found each other. We were actually doing a live stream on Facebook Live, and he was one of our featured speakers, a bit like how I am on this show with different routes. And we did a live demo of a mentorship session, but we didn't go into very sensitive information on our Facebook live channel. And people were loving it. You know, the engagement was great, but also I got so much value out of that. It's almost like I forgot I was on Facebook Live, and I felt like I was one-on-one in his office. So then people asked us to continue doing that. So we did say 3 or 4. And then I'm like, okay, let's take this offline and make it official, because I was feeling the value. So it was almost by accident that it happened. But when something happens to you by accident, and if there comes a point where it's like, this is not an accident, this is meant to happen. So let's take it to the next level. And why I say it's important that they're an official consultant, it's because then they have responsibilities to you. And it's the difference between your partner cooking for you or a chef cooking for you. You know, you can't tell your partner, I would prefer chicken today, or, you know, I don't like what you made. or can I have it at 6 instead of 6:30? But you can't say those kinds of things to your chef. Now, it's the same way with a mentor. If you get help from a friend or an uncle or someone you look up to and you tweet out to him, he's going to help you once, but it's not the same as having someone who you rely on. And I meet him every week. So I rely on him every week, and he gives me homework. It's an authoritative relationship as well, where he kind of guides me, gives me homework, and sometimes we give him homework. And there's actually two of them. One is more on our sort of financial consultant, and one is like a leadership consultant. One important thing is you never stop learning. Like, just because I've been an entrepreneur for say 6-7 years, and I've run a business that's doing quite well, despite obviously having ups and downs, it doesn't mean that that there's no more to learn. And the second we think we've learned it all, that's when we become made fools out of. So I'm proud to say that I learn every day, and I learn in a formal setting with a person who teaches me. And that's something that's new to me.
And you'd definitely recommend that kind of approach, so that it does have that roles and responsibilities. You know, we pay you, so you have to fulfill this role, fulfill these responsibilities. Yeah. So
I'll tell you why I recommend it. It's because you can fast track learnings. So how long will it take me to learn something on my own that I can be taught in 2 hours, which may shape my budgets for the whole of 2021? So, and also make sure you have the right mentors. So you need to have people who are proven, not nice, but people who have sort of
a portfolio of
a track record of great success in what it is you're working with. So I feel like time is money. And if you take a year to learn a lesson that you could have paid a certain amount of money and learned in a week, you've got a whole 11 months and 3 weeks of that learning being in your future plan. Sure. So I think it's worth it. But it comes with also like, maybe if you're just starting up, I don't think you might not afford it. But you have to start up, get things running. But if you're at a stage, like I felt like I've done everything I know, like I've gotten us to a certain point. And now, for reasons we won't discuss, this year has been a bit of an abnormal year. 2020. And I got a few levels back, you know, compared to in the adventure game of business. So I don't want to go through a long process of getting back. So I took like a shortcut, like a cheat, and that power up is confiding in someone with more experience.
Awesome. So,
it's not how I thought this conversation would go. I thought we'd be talking about me.
No, it's not good.
By the way, there's also books that teach you tremendous amounts. Okay, so I always used to think reading was not cool, but then I found a book that opened me up to the joys of reading, and now I'm on.
Do you know the name of that book by any chance?
So yeah, the book that I would suggest to businesses who have like reached the ceiling, or they're kind of not making the profits that they think they deserve and they're stuck, that's called Traction. In fact, I'll show you
and he still keeps it on his desk. Can you believe that?
No,
so
that's dedication.
Yeah, still learning.
That's the book.
Traction. By Gino Wickman.
Traction by Gino Wickman. So this kind of talks to you about how to grow at scale, how to reach the next level, but you have to already be at a certain stage of your business. It's not something for when you're just starting out, but say if you've been running for like 2-3 years or more, and you have like let's say between 10, like around 10 minimum people in the team, then this teaches you, or let's say about 5 people minimum. This teaches you how to really clearly identify your roles, your organizational chart, and you think you're unique and you think your problem is unique, and then you get to page like 135 and you see, oh wow, That's me.
Actually list Growth Gurus is actually listed in the book. Oh my God.
He's watching me. He's the one who's shut down your bank account. That's the
He just wanted me to buy the book. So it was a long game. It's a long game. So I think reading is important as well, and keep on learning, always learn.
Yeah. So now on to digital marketing. So we know it's a ever evolving industry, and I guess we now live in an age of innovation. So there's a lot of new things that are changing the landscape of marketing. So I know there are stuff like AI that affects how people are engaged with consumers. We also have programmable advertising. So essentially like a different way of getting Google ads to specific audiences. So going back to the whole like AI thing, we have examples such as Microsoft and Uber who have like a K5 robot. Have you heard of this? No? So it's essentially like a mobile robot that walks around in the parking lot and actually gives tickets.
Wow.
Yeah. So
like I don't have enough parking tickets already, then please to give me tickets.
They're watching, man. They're watching.
Wow.
So I guess my question to you, Josh, is that how do you incorporate these kind of nuances and new ways of reaching to new audiences and implementing AI? Like, how does Capital Guru do it, or Growth Guru do it? Sorry.
So look, but like marketing has evolved a lot, and I would say one of the largest single-handed innovations that has changed the game for businesses and the way they connect with their customers is social media platforms. So think about it. Prior to social media, to reach your customers, you were always reliant on a middleman, and you were very limited in what you could do. So we've got television advertising, newspaper distribution, and that was like back then the largest revolution was the printing press, which meant information could be mass produced, but it could be mass produced by the printing press. So same with television and radio, it could reach many homes, but it's still coming from a single source. And that source has control over the way they present the news and media and the way they present the story. Now with social media, everybody is a news anchor. Yes. Everybody, every single person with a phone that has internet connectivity is able to tell the story of your brand. And also we are able to connect with them directly. Okay, yes, through a social platform, but still it's directly us, the consumer. So that's opened up a huge array of opportunities in targeting and retargeting. I'm sure you guys have seen it when you're looking at a watch or a pair of fancy shoes or some cool clothes on the internet. They follow you forever. Like every website you load up, you're seeing the pair of shoes. Or
it's them cookies, man.
I looked at some Jordan trainers like 2 weeks ago, and they've been showing them to me every day. I was like, I'm not ready to buy them. Leave me alone.
The stars are aligning, man.
The stars are no. Christmas is coming. I'll buy it for myself at Christmas. But they keep showing me different types of shoes. And I'm not buying them. I just wanted to look.
Well, my size is size 13. If you want to buy me some shoes too.
Actually, you felt it. You felt the wrath of the retargeting.
Or even yet, we can even talk about like influencers. So people like Kylie Jenner, LeBron James, or people out there that are getting paid to essentially endorse certain products, and then are pushed onto like video streams of little ads like that. So I know that 68% of people actually make purchases based on influencers saying, buy this product, or LeBron James, buy the shoes, or you see LeBron James wearing his Jordan shoes. Or whatever.
All the Beats headphones with Dr. Dre. So I actually bought my Samsung for that reason, because of football. showing the waterproof Samsung in like the World Cup like 6 years ago, and he put his phone in I think it was Ronaldo, and he dropped the phone in a glass of water, and it was still working. I was like, Ronaldo has a waterproof phone. I need a waterproof phone, and since then I've been Samsung.
You've been Samsung guy because of Ronaldo.
Yeah, and he had the phone, so why not? He's a smart guy.
So are you claiming you're just like Ronaldo?
I'm pretty much, yeah. I'm better at basketball than he is, and I guess he's better at football than I am. So.
You guess.
Apart from that, we're pretty much the same.
Wow.
It balances out.
Is it okay if I call you Cristiano for the rest of the
Thank you.
Or Fakiano.
Look, you guys are mentioning something very powerful, and you're talking about it at the very top level, where you're mentioning superstar celebrities. Influencer marketing has trickled down to what we call micro influencers, who have a larger, because okay, if you see Kylie Jenner posting something, typically nowadays it will be her own product rather than someone else's. And the budgets you would need to sort of reach to have someone of that level promoting your brand are just very, very probably unaffordable for most businesses out there. So what we're seeing a huge rise of over the last 2, 3, 4 years are micro influencers, say people with 10,000 followers, but they have an engaged community, and they would be posting about products that they like, and that's seen tremendous growth. We've seen it with many of our clients.
Essentially, you're saying like brand ambassadors. So I know here in Manchester we have like PrettyLittleThing. We have who else do we have?
Oh, I want to say BooHoo, but I don't know because I don't.
Yeah, BooHoo is here too.
BooHoo.
Yeah.
I don't shop there.
So yeah, totally. Like I've definitely seen some ads particularly for me. I've been approached by gym wears. So you say, oh, we're looking for someone to endorse our program. So I'm not even sure how they find me, to be quite honest, because I'm not like that ripped, but for them to say.
I'm not that ripped. I mean, I lift, I work out a bit, but I'm not that jacked.
No, the shirt barely fits, but it's
this is a triple XL on the sleeve, extra big on the arms, but don't worry about it.
Anyways, like, those like micro influencers. So they're making myself to be a micro influencer. And
congratulations! You made it.
Thank you. For my endorsement code is.
You get 30% off all gym wear from Under Armour.
Yes.
It's Under Armour.
I'll take
that Under Armour deal. I'll take that deal.
For sure. It's a compliment. It's a compliment to you and to the sort of, I don't really like the word influencers, but that is what they do. They influence decisions. I would say we are all influencers. Some of us just get free stuff, and some of us get paid a bit of money. Some of us get paid a lot of money, and some of us do it out of the true desire to see brands that you love succeed. And I guess the difference is an advocate and an influencer, but we influence decisions every day, you know?
T, you know what time it is?
Game show time. Quiz time.
It's quiz time. All right. So today's questions were based on questions on digital marketing. So let us see. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna allow you guys team up together and have, to help each other out with an answer for my questions. All right. So you guys ready?
His questions are tricky.
Different ways people wake up in the morning, and what is it they check? So is it they check their email first, your social media first, company mail first? Do they do some searches, or do they go check the news?
Or do they check if they still have any hair left?
Or check who's next to them in bed. Who are you? What did I do last night?
What kind of nights are you having?
This is pre-lockdown. I'm joking.
Pre-lockdown.
I shouldn't tell you about that Texas interview today.
Stop it.
Let's not get Tammy jealous.
Yes, wifey.
These jokes are going to trend. We need to stop. For the record, me and Dammy are not in a relationship. I have no relationship with this man.
I've never
had any relations. Like Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky's. I do not have any relations with that man.
And you're wearing a blue
yeah, the Bill Clinton blue.
Right.
I would say Instagram, social media.
So number
but
one.
we haven't heard the multiple choice options. We've got 20% odds of getting it right blindly.
Yeah.
So now let's increase those odds through some intellectual debate and discussion. Tim. You and me, it's you and me against Dan.
So yeah. So if you want, I can tell you that the one that's tell me what do you think is the least? And then.
But what are the options?
So email, social media, company information. So like your company email, search. So going on to Google because you need to figure out what your dreams mean, or news.
Okay. And this is it's like an average of all entrepreneurs in the world, or all people in the world?
General users in the entire world. So this is based on a study that was done 2 years ago.
Tim, I'm gonna put my bet towards social media being the first thing people check.
I'd say social media.
Social media number one.
Social media number one.
It's so addictive, you know. It's built to be.
That's the design. Yeah, you go to bed with Instagram, you wake up with Instagram. That's what they want. They want to like a bunch of crackheads on our phones. That's what we are.
Have you seen? There's the social the show on Netflix. It's
the
all about
dilemma.
Social dilemma. It's creepily true, and I know because that's how we do. That's what we do basically. Make people make decisions. I mean, that's what marketing is. Anyway, I digress. So we're gonna go with social media being number one.
Social media number one. What's number two?
I guess emails, but that would be. But if we think about, and is this the UK or is this the world?
It's a study that was done in US. So just think of it.
Not emails then. I'm not saying emails. I'll say
they like to check their emails.
Yeah, I'll say news.
Okay, let's go social media, news.
Okay.
Then emails, that's number three, I'd say. And then company updates probably. Not everyone has a company, so that would be the lowest.
All right. So it goes. Number one is email with email with 58%. Is Google searches. You guys forgot about the searches. So like people are really wondering what the hell my dream means. So
20%. Searching what the weather is.
Oh
yeah, true. Or what time the train is. Yeah.
What kind of trainers are
LeBron
wearing today? Number three is social media with 14%.
14.
Yeah, not that
coming to think of it, not that many people. We were probably thinking about people in our sort of age bracket.
Our age group.
And that's very important in marketing.
So checking to see, if the world's going to end today or if it's not. And then number five is the company information. So
it's a trick question.
Yeah, so it was a hard one, but it surprised me too, figuring out that everyone's checking their email as opposed to social media. So
I think this, if I may interject one lesson that I learned in my experience as an entrepreneur at this specific point, we always have to think about our audience in business and in marketing. And that's something that you and I failed to do. Rookie mistake. And it can be a very costly mistake. Like you see, we've been looked to make fools of. Because we didn't.
I didn't do it. I just read the questions, man.
He set us up. He set
us up because we should have thought, what percentage of people
are actually using
social media every day?
Yeah.
And that's 28% of the world, of the connected world, check social media actively. But then thinking about emails, you've got students and older generations. We made the mistake of not really focusing on our audience.
The next question has less options for you guys to mess up on. So in terms of mobile users, so we have mobile users, Android, Apple, and Windows. Which of these users are most likely to spend the most in a shopping cart? So essentially you on your Amazon and you want to be able to buy 3 items kind of thing. So who is most likely to buy all 3 who's likely to buy just two, who's likely to buy just one.
Apple, Android, Windows.
Yeah.
But again, we need to think about the percentage of users. So there's many more Android users than Apple and Windows users in the world. I know that.
Okay.
So then it liquidates the proportions, because you'll have children and they will not buy any because they don't even have credit cards.
Some consultant case reasoning.
Really
I like it.
Case study.
Look, Tim, the obvious answer would be, let's say Apple first, but let's think, who the hell has Windows?
That's what I'm thinking. Who uses Windows phones?
Samsung is Windows, isn't it?
No, Android.
So
Android.
then what's Windows? Who is it?
Microsoft.
It would be a very sorry if Bill Gates is tuned in. I'm sorry.
Bill Gates. Okay, we'll interview you. You're an entrepreneur too. We allow it.
So knowing what a trickster Danny is, it's probably going to be Windows at the top, because and then Apple and then Android. I mean, but I think the first answer that comes to mind is that Apple uses.
Who spends the most?
Yes, who spends the most? So it's like
per customer.
Yeah. So
it's not total spend.
If we're looking at the total, then it's definitely Apple, because more people would have Apples than Windows, I believe. So therefore, they would have a higher total spending.
Yeah.
But if it's
per person.
Per person, yeah.
Okay. Do you want me to end the story, or do you want to keep digging yourselves into?
Well, we haven't really given an answer. Tim, I'll let you take the answer.
I'll go Android, because I'm loyal to Android.
Okay, so Android, then what?
Apple, Windows.
Yeah. Okay.
Android, Apple, Windows.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Apple, Android, Windows.
Okay.
Oh, so one of you actually said it correctly.
Who?
T.
Yes.
You're wrong. It's actually John.
I hate you.
I looked you in your eyes. And the souls in your eyes.
We're meant to have a partnership here.
He got you good.
It's not always, love and fairies. It's
Oh
my gosh.
You
had good logic. You had good logic. I should have gone with it, but I'm loyal to Android, so I had to say Android first. But yeah, you had good logic. You worked out.
It feels so great to win. Oh.
It feels so great to win.
That's a feeling that I'll never get bored of.
All right. And then some quick fire questions then. So this would be like, it's one or the other. So in terms of online shopping, is it men or women who spends more?
Women.
Women. If the stats say men, it's because they have our credit cards.
Hey, this guy
went there. He went. I don't know who you're gonna return home to. But so it actually says men spend more than women by 68%. So this is a study done by KPMG. So who am I to argue with them? So maybe
I've already given you.
Maybe it's because I guess, let me not put my foot in my mouth, is that maybe men buy more luxurious items, like, a plane online, or like, a Ferrari, whereas women, they buy more smaller goods. So that one-time purchase might offset 20 purchases.
I don't know anyone who's bought a Ferrari online yet. If anyone has.
I sent you to this Chinese website.
I've never met anyone who's bought a Ferrari online.
Yeah.
But I think it's more likely that women have, well, no, let me not repeat.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying anything on this
Don't take it
topic.
up with me. Take it out with KPMG.
Next question.
Right. So, in terms of generation, so we have Generation X, baby boomers, or millennials. Who do you think spends most on online shopping?
Generation X, baby boomers, or millennials?
Yes. So now you got to really think about.
Generation X have money though. That's the question.
You
should know. You can't get this one wrong.
Look,
Gen X are like our parents. We're millennials, so 1980 to 2000.
We're the youngest.
Yeah, and then baby boomers are grandparents.
Yeah, grandparents.
Yeah. So
what's the generation below us?
Generation Y or something like that. Let's see. I don't know. Either way, it's too young for you.
He's being protective. Listen, I need to know at what year this data has been collected.
Last year.
See, okay. then that's an easy one.
Go on.
Gen X.
Gen X? All right.
And I think if you captured the data today, it would be the generation above us. We're Gen X, right? Yeah.
That's why I'm getting confused. I'm pretty sure.
No, we're millennials. Funny enough, millennials are from 1980 to like 2000.
Sorry, so I meant to say millennials. I meant to say millennials.
I made the same thing as you asking.
But if they did the data today, I think we've seen a huge shift in buying behavior over the last 8 months to everything being bought online. So then it's about who spends the most money. But since it's a year old, the data, I would say it's our generation spend the most online, followed by the Gen X, followed by the baby boomers.
Okay, and if it was for this year, what would be your ranking?
I'd put the Gen X above us and say millennials fall into second place. That would be my prediction.
Okay, well, it says Gen X is actually the number one generation to spend the most. Yeah, and then it goes baby boomers, so grandparents and all that stuff, and then millennials.
Broke asses.
But that's all right. But that's okay. Don't worry. This last question. You're definitely gonna get it right. Okay, just to give you.
I don't believe you.
At least I have one. I've got one right already. So
yeah, you got one.
All right. So fine. In those generations that we've mentioned, Gen X, millennial, and baby boomers, who are the most likely to suffer from FOMO? So FOMO being fear of missing out. So think about the factors that lead into FOMO. That's my hint to you.
It has to be millennials.
Why millennials?
Because we can see that there's a party popping on Instagram, or we're like, how am I not there? Or you can look at someone's story, even if it's the next day, and you'll be like, oh yeah, I went out with my friends, we had a good night, or we had some drinks at Dami's house. And then you're like, guys, these guys were in a club like right next door and they didn't call us. We could have been at that party. Look at how many girls there. Look how they got champagne showers. They've got a month.
The club is Dami's house.
So I think millennials, whereas like back in the day, you wouldn't know what was going on. You like get a letter. Oh, there was a banquet on July the 4th. Oh, that was nice. Yeah. That sounds great. Whereas we can see it and we're like, dude, we need to go.
You can see it live
now.
Exactly.
We need to go now. If we go quickly, we can still get it. My friend's at the door. He said exactly. So then you just go quickly. So I think we have FOMO and we want to get involved. Right. That's why we're not taking lockdown well.
Do you agree, Josh?
Yes.
Yeah. And guess what?
We're both right.
We're right.
Don't play with this. I was like, I'm walking off.
So exactly what, as you guys said, it's social media has a big impact into influencing FOMO. So the biggest social media is Facebook. So with 72% of people feeling Facebook leads to FOMO, Instagram 14%, Twitter 11%, and Pinterest 8%. So these are all different factors that lead to FOMO. So maybe get off of Facebook and more into Pinterest if you don't want to feel bad about your life or feel like you're missing out. But definitely, millennials are the ones that feel like they're missing out. So it's okay.
Good.
Well, right, we're not having fun right now. It's okay. So yeah. So, and Josh, thank you very much for playing the game. You've definitely woken us up in letting us know where and where not to go for grabbing information and the influence of social media.
Speaking of woke, see that segue there? You see what I did? I like to touch on some social issues because I'm very woke. I know that your growth gurus, you guys are very passionate about giving back. And I know you've worked with a lot of companies, different charities or different organizations on not-for-profit. What really stood out to you? What did you find most passionate? I know you've been to the Philippines recently, which is somewhere I like to go.
Oh, what? During the moon party and everything?
No, that's Thailand. Wait.
It's close.
No.
Philippines.
Full moon is would
full moon party. That'd be cool.
Right.
Yeah. So what project have you worked? I have FOMO. What project appealed to you the most, and how do you choose which projects to work on?
Look, it's really tough to choose one project. We've worked with 200 businesses in the last 5 years. So we've done a lot of work with different companies, of which, let's say, about 10 were all part of our CSR program. So even in our first year, we started helping out sort of charities and non-profit organizations that we felt were close to us. So it's always been part of our DNA to give back. But out of all of the projects, or some of the largest companies in the world, and some young, very fired up, passionate startups, there's one project that really, really is close to my heart, and that's a project called WeArtLove. It's an e-commerce platform that we built, whereby all the money generated from selling art goes directly to help fund the children in the Philippines, with the Mission of Love, which is a charity that my father and mother actually set up about 15 years ago. So when they went to the Philippines, I was 5. So it was much more than 15 years ago. Sorry. I just did some maths.
Years in a day.
Well, no, it was a while ago. Anyway, but we went to, my father built a school in the Philippines for the tribal children there that had no access to anything closely resembling education and flowing water and food. And he's been running, my mom and dad have been running this charity, the Mission of Love, ever since. And through there, you can sponsor a child, right? Which is a typical model. Now, I wanted to really innovate in this space and bring scale to the way we can help people. And I'm very passionate about art. As you can see in my office, I've got a lot of funky art, and it's something I started being passionate about at a young age. So we did this project in Boracay, which is the island where the Arti village, where the Arti tribe are. And we flew a top artist from Sydney, from Byron Bay, Australia, called Christian Palmer. And we ran a project where we got about 300 little hearts drawn by the children, and they were so excited about it. The artist took back the paintings drawn by children and turned it into a triptych. And then we mass produced prints of those. And I went back and built an e-commerce platform and social media channels to connect people with this beautiful mission and the ability to help save lives. So they're actually behind me. It's a bit maybe hard to see, but the 3 pieces are up on the wall, and the blue one goes straight into their nutrition. So if you buy the blue print, you fund all their nutrition for 6 months or 8 months, depending on the size. The white one is for their education, and the pink one is for health. So this was an innovative way of how we can all help without having to sort of sponsor a child for the foreseeable future with just buying something amazing. So that's my favorite project. And it's one that I'm pushing, and I will keep pushing. But this one is really aiming to sort of save lives. And this year has been particularly tough for people with much less tourism and much less availability to work. So it's passion. I'm very passionate about my business. I'm passionate about the people that I get to work with. And this is something very special to me that I would love to sort of see it continue to grow. You know what, boys? I'll send you one. I'll send you one. You can choose education, health, or nutrition.
Education, man.
Education.
I'm always about growing oneself or learning every day.
Well, you know what? It links us to Manchester, so represent with the education.
That's it.
Exactly.
I believe that.
I'll get you one shipped over, and if anyone wants to sort of learn more about this mission and the story behind it, you can actually see the kids painting and everything. It's www.weartlove.com.
WeArtLove.com.
Even the name itself, it's like we are love, but we art it. We art love.
It's cool.
Thanks, Josh. We really appreciate everything you've said here today. If you can just give us a 1-minute words of wisdom, what would it be?
Running a business is not always easy. However, it is extremely rewarding. First thing you must do before getting into entrepreneurship is make sure that you really are passionate about what it is you're getting into. Understand the market you're entering and invest time into building a strategy that will increase your opportunity and your options for success. Don't go into things blind. do your homework, build the right team around you. I would advise getting a business partner that shares your passion and your vision, but has complementary skill sets, because teamwork is very important. Don't be too proud. Learn lessons and adapt based on what you learn. Always keep learning. Put yourself into risks and challenging positions, and keep on striving for excellence in everything you do. Don't give up. Don't let your head down, and don't worry too much about the people around you. Just focus on you and your business.
Nice. Good job. That was honestly, you really spoke from the heart there, and we can really hope that people are able to hear not just with the ears, but also with the hearts, so that they be able to follow their own path into entrepreneurship.
Good.
And then finally, Josh, if you can just tell us different ways for our listeners to be able to reach out to you and your organization on your social media platforms, or any other form that you can think of.
Thank you for having me. Different routes. It's been really, really fun. For anyone who's looking to contact me, you can find us on our website, www.growthgurus.com. My name is extremely easy to find. It's Josh O'Cock. Fortunately, there's not many O'Cocks in the world, so just search me on social media, Josh O'Cock. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, also LinkedIn. And on our website, you'll find all the contact forms and contact details.
Nice. Thank you very much, Josh.
It's been a real pleasure. One thing I can give away is we do 8 free digital marketing strategy sessions every month. I think even for you guys it would be useful, but also we can give it to the listeners as well. So there's a specific URL where these strategy sessions can be booked up, and it's all about just giving value to aspiring businesses.
Nice.
So it might be useful.
It's really valuable. Thanks very much. It's very kind.
Yeah. So sign up to
yes. How do people sign up?
It's
on your website.
The URL is on the website on growthgurus.com. In the footer, there's a book strategy session. The link is growthgurus.com/book-strategy-session, and that's all about finding quick wins, but also more sort of long-term beneficial things you can do, looking into SEO for your search engines or your website performance. And it's literally not about taking, all about giving, and it's just shining the right light on the brand, and that speaks for it. It keeps on. When you're a giver, the world keeps giving back.
Well, thanks a lot, Josh. We really appreciate you coming in. We'll definitely look forward to seeing your company grow, and you helping other companies grow and become something bigger, like, from a molehill to a mountain. And then hopefully we'll be able to see you come back and tell us the new adventures of your company. Okay.
I look forward to it. Thank you very much, guys. Once again, really enjoyed that.
One love.
One love.
Take care.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share our talks, and we will talk to you every second and fourth Monday of every month. One love.
Peace.